Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. And surely God's goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Good morning. I trust you're fine this morning. Tell them that we are back. Share with them. Hashtag Johnny's Bite. Hashtag it and let it go. Because we are here again to do the national agenda. And see, when we stand here to talk about issues, we talk about issues that affect the masses largely. Because oftentimes the people who climb to the very top, they forget you when they get to the top. Oh yes, they do. Because I get that indication quite too often. If you don't have connection and you don't know who to call when you are in distress, you always are found wanting. We live in a country where if your child has to go to school, you have to know somebody and make a call, even though we are told that there's a computer placement system. We live in a country where if you need proper health care and you get to an hospital that belongs to the state, you either stay in the queue too long, or if you have an emergency, sometimes there's a bed and you are told that there's no bed, and then you have to make a call if you know somebody before you get it. You live in a country where we say bail is free, but we do know that when you get to the police station, you know, things exchange hands. We live in a country when they tell you, oh, well, passport production, everything has been digitalized, but you know that there are still guru boys lurking around. Birth and death certificates, people are still there. So we keep deceiving and lying to ourselves, because the people who are supposed to ensure that these things run without any hindrance or let, they are the very people who are sitting, supervising and watching while others profiteer on your pain and your sorrow. So it's important that you share. Hashtag Johnny's Bite. It's on TV3 New Day. It's on WhatsApp. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter. It's on Telegram. Share. Let them see it. And you see, I was just talking about the Roots ministry and NADMO and all of that. Can you imagine that the swiftness and the speed with which we fixed the Jukwa situation? Congratulations to everybody who worked to make sure that the Jukwa situation was fixed, because my understanding is that it was beginning to have an effect on the UCC, the Yensu, the Amamoma area. You know, it was flooding. So I'm happy that it's been swiftly fixed. I wish that this was the same situation that when the people in Keta, Ketu South, and Logan, when they had their problems, this would have been the same situation that would have given them. The people in Azizanya, when they had their problems with the tidal waves, we would have moved there quickly. There are people still in Keta, Ketu South, and Logan, all those places, who are still asking and begging to be relieved. We are quickly at Apiache. We are quickly in Jukwa, which is good. I like the swiftness. I adore and admire the swiftness with which this was fixed. Record time. The Temamoto way, record time. I admire the swiftness. Can you imagine if people go to work and they actually do the work that they're supposed to do, like they did yesterday and the day before, and even on Friday? Can you imagine how this place would be a beautiful country? That people go to work and they actually deliver on the work that is given to them in record time. Can you imagine how beautiful the country called Ghana will be? But people take jobs. They sometimes hide behind the political class, because they know that the political class also promise things that they cannot achieve. And I am so hurt this morning because Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, 1923, Sir Gordon Gorgesberg and his team of colonialists, as we like to call them, who we went to tell to give us back our independence. And Danny, bring the sound down. And pray for Danny. Danny is not too well. So Oliver is working with me this morning. So pray for Danny. Danny is not well. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. It is flooding. Show them the video, Oliver. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital is flooding. When it rains, portions of Korle-Bu floods. Korle-Bu, that is our tertiary numero uno hospital. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, it's floods. The roofs are leaking in certain places. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital floods. That's a tertiary hospital, Ghana's first, brightest, and best hospital. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, it floods when it rains. Korle-Bu Teaching, let it sink in. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, that's the standard around the world. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, it floods when it rains. That's it. They are collecting water from the ground. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Now, you know what happens in the hospital? Why doctors and nurses and people who work there, they have PPEs, protected, clothing and all of that, because they fear that they may get infections and all of that for people who are affected or people who are inflicted who come to them. Here we are. The place is flooding. So the washrooms are getting flooded. The wards are getting flooded. Korle-Bu is getting flooded, though, Tom. That's what I'm saying this morning. And you know why they will not care? They will not care because when they are ill, bring it back to the studio. They will not care because when they are ill, Oliver, come back to the studio. They will not care because when they are ill, they are the first to pick their passport to travel out of this country. When they are pregnant, they travel outside of this country to have their babies. So their babies even don't have the citizenship of the countries that they say they have sworn allegiance to. They get pregnant here. Then they travel outside to have their babies. So the person is a member of parliament here. The person is a minister here. The person is a big man in government here. But their children are of other nationalities. Why? Because they have seen the kind of messy future they have created for us. They don't want their children to be part of it. They want to make life easier for their children so that when they pick up, their children pick up their passports, they can travel. And you are busy this morning, you will be supporting. We have to wise up and think quickly. This morning, if you are sick now, you can't go anywhere else. You go to Korle-Bu. You go to Efiankwanta. You go to Konfanoche. You go to Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Those are Tamale Teaching Hospital. Those are the places you will go to. You will join the long and ending queue. You might be attended to by a doctor who may not be satisfied. Show them the place again, Oliver. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital is flooding. Korle-Bu has not flooded before. It is flooding now. It's flooding. It's flooding. Korle-Bu is flooding. This is our wake-up call. But you see, they would actually not care about it because, as I said, when they are ill, they don't go to these places. When they are ill, they travel to the best hospitals outside the country. So if Korle-Bu is flooding, where else won't flood? Oliver, pull out that picture for me. The frontage of the children's ward around the Korle-Bu area. Pull that up for me quickly. I want to show you where our future leaders are born. I want to show you where our future leaders are born and where the future leaders themselves will be welcomed into the earth. And you tell me, bring that, let me see the picture. So this is it. If you are familiar with Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, that's the children's ward. Now, I went there with a friend of mine who recently had a baby. We went there on a Sunday. His wife, myself, we got there. Now, look at it. Look at the roof. Have you seen that? Look at the ceiling. Have you seen it? Have you seen the ceiling where our future leaders are born? That's what the ceiling looks like. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Now, I went there with this colleague's, wife. Of course, when you live in a country, if you live in the United States, you go to the best hospitals. You would want to also always choose the best hospital. So we went there. That's where she's been going. First day, Sunday afternoon, we get to the maternity area. Lights are off. Listen carefully. This block, lights off. The down floor, light is off. Aside the flooding, the light goes off where pregnant women are. Pregnant women who are just come, who might be in labor. They are dilating, whatever it is, the terminologies they use. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, light is off. The chairs that they sit on, the chairs are supposed to have a backrest. Every good chair, like what we sit on, has a backrest. All the chairs have become like this stool. The chairs in those places, majority of them, have become like this stool. If you take, I'm lying, go to Korle-Bu now. Enter the children's block, what I've shown you. If you get to Korle-Bu, you find it. When you enter, take a left turn. The NHIS office on the right, take a left turn. There's no footrest, the backrest, sorry. The chairs have become like stools. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Now, can you imagine the kind of stress, the kind of disappointment, the kind of hurt and pain? If you're a health official, you're a midwife, you are a pediatrician, you are whatever it is, and you are posted to go and work there, you would obviously accept offers to move out of this country. Because you are a professional in your own right. After having gone to medical school, after having gone to the nurse and midwifery training colleges, after having gone through all of it, you have earned your dignity and your respect and your qualification. But this is where you work. The roof is bad. The roof will leak. Not this particular one, but I've showed you how Korle-Bu is leaking and it's flooding. And it is because the big men and the big women, when they are sick, they don't go there. They travel us on this country. You don't get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. And it is because we are not speaking up. See, if we all begin to start to speak up, if we all decide that we're going to be speaking up, they will do the right thing. When we all started talking about Jukwao, you see how quickly they fixed it? That tells you that you have a voice, you cannot keep quiet. You have a Facebook account, you have a Twitter account, you have an Instagram account, you have a WhatsApp account. What do you do with it? We all must begin speaking up. And when we start speaking up and demanding, I'm not asking you to go and cause trouble. I'm saying demand for what is yours. Our president of the day, he demanded for what was right for the people, for the masses. Even under a military rule, he demanded for what was right. Him, Dr. Nyahota Maklo, Dr. Victor Newman, all of those people, they demanded for it. Kwesi Pratt, Kweku Baku, they demanded for those things. Why have we as young people become perhaps so timid? And even some older people are so timid, we can't demand for basic things, the dignity. And the old people who are septuagenarians and octogenarians and sexagenarians will tell you how, as young people, they went to Korle-Bu with a lot of pride. Show them the leaking video again. They went to Korle-Bu, Oliver, with a lot of pride. Show them the video. A lot of pride. Oliver, show them the video. Today, those places, those same places that they went to with a lot of pride, those places are leaking. Those places in the Greater Accra region, Ghana's foremost hospital, Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, those same places are leaking. So I want to say good morning to the board chairman of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. I want to say good morning to the chief executive officer of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. I want to say good morning to the Director General of the Ghana Health Service. I want to say good morning to our Minister for Health. I want to say good morning to our Presidential Advisor on everything health in this country. Maybe I'll add their names. Presidential Advisor on everything health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, former Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mr. Kweku Ajema-Menu, Minister for Health. Good morning to you. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Dr. Patrick Kumar-Baji, Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Good morning to you. Korle-Bu is leaking. Now, if Korle-Bu is leaking, can you imagine other places? Can you imagine other places? Until recently, the Korle-Bu emergency ward had just 40 beds until I think the First Lady engineered a process for expansion, and then we got some more beds. So if you have cases from everywhere else, in Fiankwanta, whatever it is, they end up at Korle-Bu because that's our Ogboro hospital. And your Ogboro hospital is leaking. Where is salvation? The place where you go eventually for help, last, kwata, the place is leaking. And look, pause. Oliver, pause. See, somebody is sitting on a chair, and she has chalked their legs by the what do you call it? By the pillar. So the person who has come for medical attention is now trying to be a weather forecaster, He's not trying to be a NADBO official. He's not trying to be a Superman. That same person is now trying to be a spider. Can you imagine? The person now is at the gym. The person has come to the hospital. Is sick. He has come for medical attention. By force gym. Free gym at Korle-Bu. The person is now a weather forecaster. The person is now a NADBO official. The person is now a rescue, a ranger, everything. You go to the hospital to go and get help, and you are now chalking your legs on pillars. Anyway, let's wrap up this way. Now, I saw something over the weekend that I wasn't too happy about. And I think that even though I don't think that the Ghana Education Service condones it, perhaps it is time the Ghana Education Service focuses on it. You know, for those of us who went to proper Saito schools, and I went to Kanisha Anglican JSS, we had an opportunity where we were given the chance to also elect our leaders. And usually was done through popular acclamation. Do you like him to be do you want him to be your class prefect? Yes. Do you want him to? No. Show your hands. Then they count. And then they declare the winner. But before that, you are given an opportunity to speak to the student public. You are given a chance to campaign. Take a look at this boy. And I'm sorry if perhaps we show his face, but take a look at this boy who, obviously having learned from the big boys and big girls, is clearly lying his way to fame and power. Watch. So you heard him. Obviously telling lies, because I don't know if he even knows where the Zoom Lion office is located. He doesn't know their phone number, yada, yada, yada. And you see, he said he was going to provide a school, a primary school like that, with a whole bolaka. He is learning so fast. And he may not be the only one. There are many of them, because they know that in this country, people lie their way to power. People tell pure lies, things they know they can't do. They tell pure lies. You are there. For 3 years, your curriculum has been changed. There's no textbook. You are promising people bolaka. You are there. Your teachers' laptops, which monies were deducted from them to be given to them, have not all received their laptops. You are promising them bolaka. And it tells you how the deception, lies, and dishonesty has sipped all the way down to the very bottom. So this morning, I'm just calling on all of us to wake up. This is the moment where we have to save the next generation. Because as for this present generation and the ones before, they have messed us up already. It's only a few who will stand up. And even those of us who stand up, check the comments under Johnny's bite. People who have become political appendages, they think that when you highlight the problems of the country, you are being pessimistic. So even when beginning of the segment, you praise the roads minister for working quickly, they don't see that. They quickly ignore that and they go straight to, but they've forgotten that it was because you spoke about the problem in the past. That's why it's been fixed, and which is why you are praising. They are the real robots of our time. And when you have robots whose batteries, when you have robots whose batteries are dead, it is difficult to control them. That's where we have gotten to now. We have people young people who are supposed to be thinking, like how the likes of Dr. Nkrumah, Dr. Buzia, Dr. Dankwa, all those people, young people, Bicheda Rocha, Araram Ponsan, name them, they're two Ahoys, Kwame Ahoys, how those young people at the time thought and worked for Ghana. They are now thinking like, forgive me, robots. And not just robots, or robots that have batteries that are dead. So you have the remote control, but you can't control them anymore. That's where we are now. And we cannot do that because in the next 20, 30 years, we are the next set of leaders. And if you are the next set of leaders and you cannot see the future and you are not co-producing the future that is going to be left for you, and you are just sitting and watching and praise singing and licking boots, then we are in trouble. Then we are in trouble. So I'm saying that this situation of this youngster telling lies for whatever reason, and his teachers were laughing along just to win power, is something that we must stop immediately. Let those who have lied to us to get to power finish. But let's not encourage the culture of people telling lies just to get what they want. There's a small video I want to play for you of another set of children who are highlighting the real issues. That's what we are ending with. Oliver, play the video for them. Good morning.
What is wrong with this country? None of us woman would be simple. And their fault. It started from the 90s and here Bonnie and a fun of your monkeys. And what is wrong with this country? The lawmakers tend to not protect the people that will protect us, they work against us. Police they connect with their armed robbers, they work together, then they kill all the innocent souls. What is wrong with this country? Young Rastaman, you're going to say Johnnie. Moving at the coast will be forgetting about the men in suits, the MPs. And what is wrong with this country? What the innocent end up in prisons. Them they tell the poor for shaking reasons. They will not get money to pay for lawyers' bribery. And what is wrong with this country? Social media they made the people they live fake life. Slave queen they slay hard for fake hype. People they build them as king, that's a lifestyle. What is wrong with this country? Pastors tend